Hi, this is Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and today we're checking out the ATOTO double-DIN media receiver with CarPlay and Android Auto. So this is the first head unit that we'll be checking out on the channel. The fact that it does CarPlay is definitely worth considering, because we'll just see if the performance matches the price, or if it's worth spending a little extra money on a more well-established head unit. So in the box you get a number of modules, AV connectors for your system and aerial connectors, and another ISO connector, many ISO connectors. You get a USB input to the actual receiver itself, so you can locate that somewhere. You get your microphone input with a 3.5mm jack that goes into the receiver, no doubt, and a nice big lapel-like microphone at the other end. You get a double-DIN fascia surround. You get a owner's manual. You also get some protective film covers to protect the screen of the head unit. You get a warranty booklet, installation panels for the actual car system itself, and you get the ATOTO SA102 receiver itself. Again, it's a double DIN with few ports on the back for your ISO connector. You've got mic in, infrared in, sub, RC in, VIN in, then right, left, right, right rear, front right, front left, LIN and RIN inputs, USB 1 for the USB input, video for the video input, and you have your antenna input here as well. This specific unit launched in 2019. It features a Linux operating system and it has CarPlay built into it, so I will be checking that out very shortly. It has a 1024 by 600 display, so we're expecting it to be quite a good resolution. It's an IPS panel as well, so it's going to have good rich colour and contrast with a wide angle view from wherever you're looking at it in your car. At the front you've got a few function buttons here. You've got seek, backwards and forwards, you've got a home button there, you've got volume up and down switches, and on and mute switches here. You've got a USB input there if you want to go directly into the front of the unit. You've got auxiliary input port. You've got a TF's micro SD card at the top here. That's your mic for microphone if you're not using the actual built-in the cabled mic that they give you. And you've got a rack reset switch there as well. You might want to do a reset of the system. There's a nice easy way of getting into it that way. It has the usual thing that comes with it for things like FM, AM tuners, and you've got video input there, as well as what we'll be looking at today in terms of CarPlay, Android Auto, and also there's MirrorLink as well on this unit. So we won't be installing this actually in a car. ATOTO have kindly given us a AC wall adapter that we'll be plugging it into, and then we'll just allow us to connect to it and see how well CarPlay functions on this particular head unit. Alright, let's get this plugged in and see how this looks. So we've got this plugged in and it's fired up, attached to a mains power, and we've got our first interface basically. So we've got a very CarPlay-like interface going on. We've got Android Auto, CarPlay, which is blue, which is a bit weird, Bluetooth, BT Music. I take it you could just transmit Bluetooth audio there. Then you've got video, setup, radio, which looks very much like the podcast icon for iOS. And then you've got music. You've got 2 pages here with some dots here. And then we've got gallery, aux in, F-cam, which is a front-facing cam, I believe. And up here you've got some Equaliser, day and night brightness, time setting, Bluetooth indicator, Not quite sure what that is. Got Equaliser settings here. Got user defined ones as well. And up here we've got, not sure, that's probably a back button, which is inactive because we're not actually in a sub menu at the moment. So let's try and get CarPlay working, shall we? So let's hit CarPlay and see what we can do to connect to it, basically. So we've got the USB port connected here. We're going to attach our lightning cable to that port and then connect that to our phone. And it's asking us, do we want to connect, allow, we do, we wanted to allow, and then we're into CarPlay already. So now we're coming from our phone on CarPlay. It's a nice bright screen. I'll say it's probably a little bit dim, but I think in a car environment actually might be okay. It's just that we're in quite a bright lit room here, so it looks quite dim, but it probably isn't actually in reality. Navigation is rapid because we're using a wired CarPlay here, switching between music tracks. So luckily we didn't have to install any particular apps into this device. Some head units require you to install an Android app of some sort to connect to the actual phone, but this is all built in here. It's unfortunate that it looks like you can't use CarPlay through this port. And obviously you've got the microphone here for Siri. Hey Siri, what's the weather like today?
It's currently cloudy and 12 degrees. Expect partly cloudy skies and rain starting in the afternoon with mixed conditions. For the rest of the day, temperatures are heading down from 12 degrees to 3 tonight.
Hey Siri, open up Google Maps. And that's pretty much Siri, all through this mic here, and also you've got the microphone on the back you can actually plug into and actually route that microphone a little bit closer to you if you find this microphone isn't as good at picking you up through calls, and the call quality is probably going to be a lot better using the actual external microphone as well. Also, it's worth pointing out that you can actually plug in a wireless dongle, such as the CarLinkit 2.0 we've got here, just by plugging it into the USB port and letting it power up and connect to the system. You also have the added ability of wireless CarPlay. So here's the interface here, and obviously without the lightning wire we've got CarPlay running, and you've got the ability of wireless CarPlay on your system as well, which is super handy. It's going to double, well, it's not going to double the price. It'll be very close to roughly about £100 more or $100 more by adding a wireless dongle on top of this setup. And then you've got wireless CarPlay for about $260 roughly, give or take. And it boots up nice and quick as well, actually, and there isn't too much lag between the system and the dongle. It's definitely better than my Alpine for sure. And obviously navigation is all there as well, through the actual device itself. So that's all coming through the phone wirelessly to this dongle that's plugged into this system here. And this is a factory dongle as well. This isn't the Android dongle that we're using here. So that's the CarLinkit 2.0 dongle running on the ATOTO SA102. You got £160 for the receiver and roughly about just over £100 or dollars for the CarLink It dongle as well. And then you've got a wireless setup here, and you can also know that this dongle works with this receiver as well. So that's all good to know. To look inside, there isn't much there. All the board is on the base of the unit, and then you've got the circuitry on the display here. So in here there's literally a void of nothing, which is a shame that you have to fit these stereos on this metal cage infrastructure here really, so that's unfortunate. But let's just go back to the main menu. So home, you've got Android Auto here, so you've got the radio between AM FM. You've got some presets here, and you've got traffic awareness and so on. Locality, it's pretty straightforward. Music is if you've got any micro SD or USB inserted into the front of the unit, so that's quite cool, and then we'll try that out soon. Setup, so you can disable video whilst in motion for safety. Audio, you've got volume setup, audio setup for various equaliser controls and subwoofer. You've got a loudness option. You've got a beep mode, which is probably going to come through the car speakers rather than through the unit itself. Auto mute while reversing. Audio mix ratio between when you're reversing, if you can quieten down the audio. Panel illumination, you can change the colours here. See if this actually makes it any brighter. No. Dimmer level. You've got panel illumination, we've done that. Picture adjustment, you can change the hue and the brightness. You can set a wallpaper in the background, let's do that. And date and time, system time via CarPlay, it's quite handy. You've got radio region and RDS on, and you've got system reset, changing the language, which way the steering wheel controls are, and steering wheel controls, which is quite handy. You can start pairing to a separate dongle that you can buy that allows you to control different things without, if you've got a car stereo that hasn't got any control on the actual wheel itself, you can buy an additional component to this unit which uses Bluetooth, and then you can set up this to talk to it basically, and actually operate this through a little module that you would attach to either the dash of the car or the steering wheel. Boot logo, easy connection, and the driver's place, whether they're on the left hand side or the right hand side. So that's pretty much all the options there. Just make sure there's no more. No, you can't scroll that. Video, again through micro USB and so on. Gallery will be the same, and there'll probably be a list of options there to view. Aux in through the video at the back, and the front facing camera again if you've got it connected to the AV sockets at the back. So we've shown you the CarPlay working on the unit. It's all pretty as you'd expect it to be, and now we're going to actually look at other media that you can actually use on this head unit. So Lightning to iPhone for CarPlay only actually works through the back USB port. You can't use it with the front. The front USB port is mainly for media consumption, along with the TF input card as well. So we've got a FAT32 formatted USB drive here that is a SanDisk 16 gig. We've used it on a lot of coverage here, and just by putting it into the USB port at the front here, that will basically give us access to a lot of functionality and media playback. So the first we can try is video. So if we go into the video folder, we've got these dot files, are basically Mac files that my Mac has created, which is frustrating that it doesn't actually hide these file formats. So you have to make sure you actually select the right one. So video wise, you've got this playing out. It's quite dark, but I can tell you that it's a good sharp display for video. And then I'll go back to the main menu, try a different video file. So you've got MP4s playing totally fine. That's an MKV file. MOV files. The sample file MKV is playing totally fine. There's no audio on these particular videos, but the display is very nice, very sharp. It's again quite dim in a room like today here, but in the car it should be sufficient. What else we got? Got AVI files, again playback's not too much of a problem. So there might be some compression types that it might not accept, but these sample files didn't have a problem playing those. So that's video. And then if we go back to music, audio, so we've got some FLAC files here. Again, you can use the buttons at the front here, or you can actually seek by tapping through the media playback. And again, you've got rewind here. MP3 files shouldn't have a problem. Again, you've got your media playback equaliser here for different tracks. If you want to change the equaliser settings. And then we've got WAV files, not a problem. Loads up fast from the stick. So that's music. And then we've got gallery, which is just images. We've got some test images here that we can go through. And again, they look great. Broken. These are my Apple dot files, which it doesn't like, and it'll basically do a gallery. It will just rotate through those files on the display. And the nice feature is you can actually set a file to be as a wallpaper. That's not a very well formatted warning, but it says only the pictures with a resolution of 1024 by 600 can be set as a wallpaper. So that's handy. You can load your family photos or a favourite photo of yours. You can have that in the background of the display as well as the default wallpapers that you on the actual system itself. So that's the gallery. Aux in we can't really try. We don't really have any media connections for the sockets at the back here. Front facing camera, we haven't got the ability to plug that in either. So unfortunately we can't test that. Otherwise, you've got Bluetooth audio playback. That's pretty straightforward. That'll just play your Bluetooth from your phone or any other device. And then we've also got Bluetooth music to access the file system from your phone as you've connected it to like a mobile device or like an iPod, for example. So that's the media playback. Of course, you've got auxiliary at the next port up here. So you can just plug in a 3.5 jack into a mobile or an iPod or something like that with a 3.5 jack and play audio straight through the system. And we haven't tested Android Auto, so let's just do that. So we got our Android phone here, and then we're going to reuse the same port again. Android Auto only works through this port. We'll do this, connect your phone. And as you'd expect, Android Auto isn't as a match really for Apple CarPlay, but the interface I always find quite clunky. But again, everything here that you can play through the actual system itself. Then you've got alerts and notifications. In Android Auto, you've got Hey Google, what's the weather like?
Right now in Brighton it's 11 degrees and mostly cloudy. Today there will be scattered showers with a forecast high of 11 and a low of 2.
There you go. So that's Google Assistant in Android Auto, and you've got navigation is always like primary landing screen for Android Auto, and you've got the menu button here to toggle between the two, and you've got the various apps that you might have already on. But again, responsiveness in Android Auto never really is always the best, but this seems to handle it okay, as long as your device is good and fast enough to use Android Auto with. So that's just a brief rundown of Android Auto on the SA102 ATOTO head unit. So we just go back home now, switch to CarPlay. And then we're back in CarPlay again, nice and quick. So if you've got multiple devices and you don't mind plugging it all in, that's a really fast way of actually getting into different platforms if your household shares different devices. But that's pretty much it. It's a nice little system. It's very cheap. It currently retails for about £165, and that is very cheap for a CarPlay unit. And the audio from it sounds quite good as well, even through my speakers using RCA inputs at the back. So I'm quite impressed. The buttons are a little bit flimsy but you kind of get that with quite a low end quality product. But all the functionality's there. CarPlay works just fine. The screen is great, nice and sharp, and it's quite responsive as well. So that is the ATOTO SA102 in a nutshell. So thanks for watching. If you like the content, give us a like and give us a subscribe. It really helps us out. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.